BruCast is back, baby.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to BruCast and episode number 6. Yes, for today's episode, we have a new camera angle. Thanks, Adrian. Shout out to Adrian for the feedback. Um, and we have a guest as well, as always. Her name's Anna Molnár. She's a senior UI artist currently working at Omeda Studios in Berlin, Germany. She has a rich background in all kinds of art fields, including street art, which is one of her many hobbies. She also takes care of cats from shelter cats, and is a motorcycle rider. Okay, hi Anna. Let me bring her in. How are you doing?
Hi, thank you for having me here, Bruno.
Of course, thank you for being here. It's very nice to talk to you. It's an honor.
Same.
Did I introduce you correctly?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Very good. Man, that's great. So before we were online, live, you were talking me about your merch,
Oh God,
right?
yes. I mean, okay, so one of my many hobbies is also making web comics, which is really just for fun. I started them when I moved to Berlin because I wanted to, just make little comics about my experience in Berlin and in life, and about my cat who was like, I lost my cat a year ago or more, now more than a year ago. And like there are many comics about her and our relationship, as like, yeah, as the whole internet has lots of cat content. I also made some, and I wanted to have a hoodie since it's winter, so I made this one, and it's saying nope here. That's one of I also have stickers, and I just put the sticker design on a hoodie as a test merch. And since I posted it that I made this, actually many people reached out and they said like, oh, I want it. I don't know how serious they are about it, but I might make it an actual merch. So yeah, but it's really just a hobby of mine, but it's cute, and it makes my cat live forever.
Of course, yeah. I think you should. I think you should create as many merchandise you can and promote it and sell it. It's gonna be amazing because uh, you have a lot of followers in this comic book. No, you do.
No,
Come on.
I don't have many at all. I think I have like 300 something or so, most of them my friends or people I know. So it's not like, since I'm not posting regularly, it's really just a hobby. I'm not making stories, or I'm not very active. So the algorithm, I guess, doesn't like me as much.
Mm, mm.
Um, and it's really like there's so many Instagram account nowadays, so it's you have to really post regularly in order to get attention. So, and I'm not doing it because, as I said, it's just a hobby of mine. So whenever I feel like it, I post something, or I draw a comic, and then yeah.
Oh man, damn algorithm. Do they have that on Instagram as well? I didn't know that. I thought it
Worse,
was a. It's worse.
I guess it's everywhere. So
Yeah,
yeah.
kind of right. I think you're right. Yeah, I knew it about YouTube but yeah. Anyway, many talents in the art field. So you are a web comic artist, a street artist as well. Uh,
Hobby.
it's a hobby. But
It's
come
a
on,
hobby.
your things are kind of professional looking. I remember this palm that you
Oh
you,
yeah.
you painted. It was pretty sick. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it's actually very hard, and since I'm working 8 hours a day in digital, with digital things, I wanted to go back to more, like working with hands, getting my hands dirty with paint. So that's how I started doing street art. Yeah,
Hmm.
actually, I was there with you the very first time I got introduced to the street art world, street art slash graffiti world.
That's true. I
Yeah,
remember. It was pretty great. Yeah.
it's cool.
It was in Berlin also. Berlin, for people who do not know, it's a hub, I would say, for street art.
It's a graffiti haven and street art haven, yeah. And for people who don't know, we went together with Bruno to a graffiti street art workshop because there are many in Berlin. And they included a little tour, a little history and explanation about, I don't know, differences between street art and graffiti and all kinds of stuff. And then we went to a huge hall where we were able to paint with cans and it was pretty cool. And then I thought like, okay, this is a very like actually it's very hard to paint with a can, also because of the sizes. Like it's very hard to keep the proportions and have a straight line with a can, so it was very challenging. So I thought that I should try more. Yeah.
It's hard. There's a lot of techniques. I mean, you need to learn and practice like everything. But I remember in that street art workshop, we learned how you could like make stars. Do you remember? By tilting the you got it way easier than I did, but you had to like kind of half half press the thing. It's not that easy. You need to
Yeah,
practice. Yeah.
it is very hard.
Yeah. And we're not vandals. There are places in Berlin where you can do it like legally.
Yes, yes.
I want to point that out.
Yes, yes. So far, maybe there was one place which I would say like maybe not legal but tolerated. But all the other places I've painted so far was always legal. And yeah, but it's hard. It's hard, and I need a lot of practice. I made one which was just basically a street art version of my sticker.
Mhm.
Not this one, but another one. And some random guy commented on my Instagram, like, I think something like, "Oh, so straight lines are not mandatory," or something like that, like very ironic. And I was like, "Okay, thank you." It's very hard.
It is. It is. There's the duct tape trick as well, right? That we
Yeah,
we
but
try.
that's masking is, yeah. I mean, I could do it, but I like, for me that's the challenge, to really make a straight line by hand. And like, yeah, masking with duct tapes or like tapes, it's makes it easier, but yeah.
Mm. How much do you think like a professional street artist spend on cans every month?
I guess a lot. Like, yeah, I guess a lot. It's one can is depends on the brand. I think it's like 350 euros, around 390. Guess I didn't buy lately because I got a bunch from you as a gift, and I got a bunch from a total random person who was leaving Berlin, and she posted it on a group chat where one of my friends were in, and then that friend texted me that there's this girl, street art girl, giving away cans.
Mhm.
So I got them. So I actually have a bunch of leftover cans. But yeah,
Mhm.
they can empty very fast. Depends on what you paint. Yeah, it's also not very environment friendly, I would say, because of
Why?
the cans and stuff. But
The spray, the gas from the can?
I guess also, and the can itself, the
Mm, yeah.
cups, it's plastic. Um, but yeah,
Yeah, I remember we went to how was it called again? The park?
Mauer Park.
Mauer Park. Yeah, like you just go upstairs, the graffiti area, there will be just cans everywhere. Like nobody give a shit, so just throw it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but there they since I think it's the most famous legal wall in Berlin, so they collect it and keep the park clean. Since it kind of bothers me that it's not really environment friendly, I started to uh, paint on empty cans. I actually, like, this was not my original idea. I saw a bunch of people on Instagram doing the same, and actually let me grab one. I can show you.
That's pretty cool. It's like reusing the can to for art purposes.
So something like this.
Oh, it's your brand again. You need to sell that.
And so
You know?
like the last time I went to paint, um I brought a bunch of these. I mean, like I had like four. And I put a sign there that you can like give couple of coins and then you can get a can, and I will give that money which I collect in return of these to foster cats, since I'm
Hmm.
oh hi Lily.
She's gone.
So since I'm fostering cats, and since I'm in contact with this organization who gives me the foster cats, I wanted to, just sell these and get a little bit of money, which I would
Yeah.
just invest in cats. And I sold one.
For how much are you selling those?
I don't give a price. It's a kind of a donation, and I give a can in return. um but I'm so like that was just one time, so I'm gonna keep making these, and then I will just when every time when I go out to spray paint, I will bring these with me and leave the sign out, and if people want to get a can and want to help cats, then they can ah, have one.
Don't break it.
Yeah.
Do you
So
ship them?
I mean, I no one, since I didn't posted these before on my Instagram, because I'm still practicing to have straight lines and everything, because it's also very hard to paint on these because of the surface. It's not straight. It's a
Hmm.
can, so it's actually
Yeah.
hard. So I'm not 100% satisfied with them. So I didn't post one yet. Um, but when I post, if people ask for it, then sure. I already sent stickers to a couple of people who just wrote me on Instagram that, hey, I like your stuff, please send me stickers. So I sent stickers even to the Philippines once,
Really?
because there's a graffiti guy there who somehow found my Instagram, and he was texting me, and then he sent me his address, and then I looked it up and it was in the Philippines. So now I have stickers on the Philippines. And then he posted the Instagram and on his Instagram that he actually stick it out somewhere. So
What is his
yeah.
Instagram?
I don't know. It was a
That's
while
okay. That's
ago,
okay.
so
No worries.
I
I
don't
just want to
remember.
look it up. That's
But
pretty crazy, man. You have like a fan seeing your art into the Philippines, like all around the Philippines. That's crazy.
it's
You have
it's
it. So you have in Gütersloh for sure. You have in Berlin a lot. I remember we went once to the Nido place in Berlin, and put like three of them, and next day they remove it. Like remember
yeah.
this big Nido sculpture next to Five Guys? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the stickers. That's the thing with
Yeah.
stickers. You put it and then they remove it. But now I have actually in like probably most of them were removed already. But in quite a couple of countries, every time I also go somewhere on holiday, I bring stickers and
Hmm.
put somewhere, vandalize everything.
How did you create the art for this can? Because it looks like it was made with Sharpies.
Um, you can buy these graffiti pens, and
Oh,
you can
okay.
have all kinds of colors, and it's, yeah, made with that. Yeah, but I'm still experimenting how it's the best to do. Well,
All right, guys. So for you listening, contact Anna and make sure to guarantee your own.
I wanted to say another story about the stickers. So there was
Yeah,
this
of
guy who
course.
was texting me on Instagram that, oh, he's following me and he collects stickers,
Mm-hmm.
and if I don't mind, he would like to get some stickers from me. So I sent him stickers on my, like, I paid for the shipping and everything,
Mm-hmm.
and he posted it on Instagram, and a month later he was selling them, and I was
Your
like,
stickers.
yeah, and some
What the
other
fuck?
stickers as well from other artists, and I was like, I mean, it's, and then lots of people were commenting below that post that, hey dude, it's not okay, these are other artists stickers, and if you want to like sell them, you have, like, it's not okay. And then I also posted it, like, and messaged him like, hey, I gave them to you as a gift, and reselling them without my consent, and it's not okay. So then he blocked me.
What the fuck?
And then I've never heard anything since then. So yeah,
He's like a sticker scam
yeah.
or something.
He
Did he
was
send you?
selling it for
Hmm?
25 cents, so it's not even
Ah,
he's
but
not gonna get rich from it, but it's still like it's stealing my work and my art, so it's not okay.
yeah, but I don't know how 25 cents is worth in the Philippines.
It was
Maybe
not a
it's like a
Philippine guy,
meal.
it was another guy, it was not the Philippine guy.
Oh, okay, okay. But you kind of gave it to him, right? So
Yeah, but as a
it's
gift.
his.
I mean,
Did he send something in return to you or
no, it's a
no?
gift. I mean, if people ask me on Instagram for stickers, I usually just send them since I don't have tens of thousands of people. I don't have
Yeah.
official merch. I'm not paying taxes after my sticker selling business. So it's not a business, but it's like I'm just a hobbyist. So it's mostly for, yeah, I think I sent it 5 or 6 times max. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit shady of him to do that.
It's not nice, yes.
So the stickers they were based on your comics, right? On
Yes.
your what's the name of your Instagram page for the comics?
Anna Doodle comic.
Anna Doodle comic.
It's
There you
not
go.
the best, but yes. There was another guy who asked me for stickers because he has a YouTube channel about stickers. And
Okay.
it was very funny because, like Anna is one of the most popular female name in the world. Um, and he asked me for stickers, and I sent them, and then he made a YouTube video about it. And he opened the stickers, and he was commenting it like, "Oh yeah, I'm opening Anna Doodle comic stickers, and check out his work on Instagram and his work and his." And I was like, I mean, I really like that the guy did this. It was so cute, and I totally support him doing this. It's amazing, but it was totally misgendering me all the
Oh,
video.
he thought you were a guy.
I mean, he said his
Oh,
many
okay.
many times, and he said like, check out Anna Doodle comic and his work on Instagram, and I was like, Anna is a pretty common female
Yeah.
name in
Where
all.
this guy was from?
I think he's living in England.
Yeah, come on,
If
man.
I
England, Anna is a female name for sure.
yeah, but I mean, I still love him because he did that. It was super cute, and it felt really good that someone's asking my stickers and making a YouTube video out of it. So it was, yeah, keep up. But it was funny that he was just his work, his Instagram. Okay.
Yeah, you're clearly a man. Come on.
I mean, I don't like. If he wants to call me a he, I don't mind. I don't care.
Oh, you're in the pronouns game.
And no, I mean, like, so yeah, misgendering a person is not nice and not okay, of course.
Okay.
But also, I don't take it personally. It's not something you can offend me with. Like, I just, if someone's misgendering me on purpose to hurt me, I don't care. Like, then it's his. It shows a lot about that person then. And also, I think for me it's not, I don't take it personally because I'm coming from a country where we don't have gender in the language. So for me it's not as important. I think it's a big topic and very complicated, but for me, gender is in a language is actually quite hard, and I still to this day mix them by accident, not because I want to misgender someone, but like, I just don't think of a gender when I talk in a language. So it's for me it's hard. Especially I'm learning German since I'm living in Germany, and it's just so hard.
It is.
That
It
it
is.
does,
Yeah.
and those even in
It
English,
is.
he's, her, him. It's very hard for me. And I also think I don't have very good language skills in general. It takes me a lot of time to learn a language, and especially with genders in the language, I'm It goes slowly.
Yeah, especially German. You said it all there. I noticed that my German learning German learning capabilities drastically increased when I gave up on learning the genders. When I said I don't care if this is dia das. Once I did that, like I started learning so much more because it's like a wall, right?
Mhm.
It's a wall to everything that you learn. You also need to learn the gender, and this was creating like double the effort to learn the language. I was like, okay, whatever if their does, I'm not learning that now. I'm gonna learn everything else, and I guess that their idea does will come eventually naturally, and it's kind of working.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
maybe I should. Yeah. Now so like in Berlin, as you know, it's very hard to learn a language because no one really speaks German around me, so I don't like hear
Yeah.
the language as much. But now I have a German learning buddy, which is a funny story because she's an old woman. I think she's
Mm-hmm.
over 70, maybe even close to 80, but she looks very young and she's very active, and she is an artist as well.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing portraits. She paints. She also plays on the piano, and she's multi
What's
talented.
what's her name?
Cecile,
Cecile. Okay, I think
and
you told me about her. Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
and she's very like offline. She really hates technology because she's actually very well educated about it. Like she was telling me about Musk buying Twitter and stuff like that, and I was like, how do you know? You don't even have a
She's
TV.
70. And
Like,
she's talking about that.
and she read the book Age of Surveillance Capitalism, which is totally about how big companies are collecting our data and stuff like that. And I was like, how do you know all of that? And that's not a book for you for now. Like, just forget about it. Because, so like, her original idea was that she wanted to make a deal with me that I teach her technology. So, like, how to use a
Mm-hmm.
phone, a mobile phone, how to write an email. So, like, pretty basic stuff. And in return, she teaches me German.
Mm-hmm.
And we made this deal actually 4 years ago, but nothing happened until recently, or recently, maybe I started this with her 6 months ago ish, maybe not even. Um, so every Sunday she comes over to my place and we just have a chat about technology, or like me showing her stuff. But like I always focus on good stuff about technology. So like how it can help me as an artist to create also offline art. And
Mm-hmm.
I show her, I don't know, documentaries on YouTube, or like all the good things which can be good for her as well as a 70 something lady. And she's still very resistant, and it takes for her like it's going slow, but also my German is going slow. So we always talk about stuff, and we try to talk only in German. So it's also for me a good thing to not learn from the book the dirty dust of everything, but like having a conversation about topics I'm also interested in, and just a uh, chill evening. She also always stays 1.5 2 hours, sometimes even 3, and just talk about everything, and it's very fun actually.
That's a very interesting relationship.
Yeah. And recently we bought an online workshop because there's this artist, Alyosha Blau, and he's working with gouache. That's a watercolor technique. And he's also living in Berlin. And I told her that, oh, if you have an email address, then you can have notifications about his workshops, so you can go and see him. And then she got really excited because, like, oh, Alyosha Blau, he's so amazing. And she really wants to learn this technique. And then we found that there's an online course at Domestika, and it was like 20 euros. So we bought it. and now we're doing that together. And that's like,
Mm.
also in German, but you have English subtitles.
Oh, it's online. Okay.
Yeah. So we started to do that as well, and it's like also something which is really technology based, because you have to have an email address, you have to subscribe, you have to register on Domestika, and it's so it's technology based, but it's also something which is offline with real paint, real from a real artist, and it's really nice. So we're doing that as well together.
How did you meet?
So when I moved here, I lived with an old lady friend of mine. She's actually a friend of my family. She's Hungarian and she's living here, actually in this almost the same building where you were living at Adenauerplatz. But on,
Adenauerplatz.
Adenauer, yeah, but on the other side of the road. So I was living there with her because at the beginning I didn't have an apartment when I
She
moved
was
here.
your roommate.
I mean, she has a 250 square meter apartment. It's a labyrinth. It's a palace. She has a blue salon and the pink salon with a
In
grand
Berlin.
piano and something. So it's a huge apartment,
Fuck,
and
man.
and she's actually renting half of the apartment out. But it's still a huge. And
Yeah.
so I got a room there, and I lived there for I think 3 or 4 months.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, and then she's her friend actually, and that's how we met. And then yeah, we made a deal back then there, and then nothing happened until, let's say, 6 months ago, and now we're learning together. And last Sunday we made an email for her, which was a huge step. It's a huge step. Now she has a Gmail account. It's totally anonymous, so she's not willing to use her real name, but
Hmm.
you can have whatever Gmail address, and that was a huge step. So she's getting there.
That's great. Yeah. So I remember in the early days of the internet, our parents would always say, don't be careful. You don't know who you're gonna meet there, and if shady things happen. And nowadays we're like broadcasting our lives into the internet, and our parents are like those old people. They are the ones who like do not know their way around like too much. So we need to teach them.
Yeah, but
No, but
I mean,
that's cute. That's
still
normal.
true. Like, many points she's telling me about how like dangerous it is. It's true. Like, I cannot argue with that. But it's just a tool. Like all these stuff, phone, internet, laptop. These are just tools which can be dangerous, of course, but also can be very useful. So
Hmm.
yeah, and she's like really just telling me all these points from the age of surveillance capitalism, and that was just, yeah, I mean, you're right, I know, I I agree. So it's sometimes it's challenging.
All right. So you moved to Berlin, and you that was the first apartment that you got in Berlin, like the first place that you rented out. Um, so you moved directly from Hungary.
Yes, from Budapest.
When was that?
2018.
That's the
June
year.
4th.
Sorry, June,
June 4th, 4th of June. Yeah,
4th of June. Okay. Oh wow, you remember the date.
I do.
Some yeah, yeah. And and what pushed you to do that? Like abandon everything in Hungary and just
Well, have you read the recent news about Hungary? It's not nice.
I did, but I was hoping that you could tell us about more about it.
So yeah, so I like, to start at the beginning, when I finished high school, I
Mm.
lived in London for a year, just
Mm-hmm.
just a year. So it was not much, but I got a bit of a taste how to live abroad and how to live
Mm-hmm.
in a multicultural city. And I always thought I would like to go back or live abroad again. And but then I moved back to Budapest, and then I studied there, and then I started to work and life stuff. And and then I had a breakup, and then after that I was like, okay, I mean, there's, I mean, of course I have lots of friends who I still love and dearly miss, but I was thinking also like just general living is in Hungary is just so much worse than living here. Like really my quality of life and just the security and
Mm.
everything is just so much better. And also like, okay, I'm also not following German politics as much as I followed Hungarian ones, but just to go outside and have a walk in the city is just so different.
It's safe,
And
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
so I just decided that okay, it's time to move outside from Hungary again. And then I had a friend who came to Berlin with me just for 4 days, really, to visit my brother who's living here as well, my half brother actually, and we visited him and just had touristy stuff for 4 days. And then I was like, oh my god, this city is amazing, okay, I'm gonna move here. And then I kind of decided, and I didn't move right away. It was, I think I came here for 4 days, and then a year passed, and a year later I moved. um yeah, and I didn't regret at all. Like again, I really really miss my friends, but like every other aspect is just so much better here. So much security, um the really the quality of life, just everything else, which is like extremely sad, like really really so sad, but that's the truth.
Yeah, but we don't have the Hungarian candy here.
I have, like, there's a Hungarian store, and you can buy Hungarian candy there. You mean the Turorudi, what
Yeah,
I brought?
exactly. This one, man, it's so damn good. I
Well,
remember you.
it's actually like 15 minutes from my apartment, so I can get one. Berlin has everything.
It does. It does. I remember there was a Brazilian shop as well. I used to buy all the Brazilian shit there.
There you go.
Mm.
Berlin has everything, but yeah, and that's so with Cecile last Sunday, we were also discussing these things, and she made a drawing, and the drawing was like a compass, but instead of the arrows pointing outwards, they were pointing inwards. And as she was drawing an arrow from, from the north, pointing to the middle, and then to the south and to the east, and then from all directions. And she was telling me like, so people are coming from the north and people are coming from the south and drawing these arrows, and then at the end, with all the arrows, it formed a star. And then she made this metaphor that if people coming together from everywhere, it forms a star and creates something amazing. And this is, I think this is an amazing metaphor of multicultural cities, in my experience. Like also I experienced in London, if you live in a multicultural city where like really people from everywhere coming together, you somehow open your mind more to other cultures and to other mindsets and other worldviews, and you just become more accepting. And I really love this. Like this is one of my favorite things, living in a multicultural city, that my mind just opened so much and I became so more tolerant and more,
Mm.
just really more open-minded. So, and I just really loved her metaphor, just creating a star with, yeah, it was very cute.
Let's make a podcast with Cecile. Me, you,
Oh,
and Cecile next time. I really like this metaphor, and I agree. I agree with you. I agree with her. It's either you accept it and embrace it, this diversity, or you otherwise you just go away. Like you cannot stay there. If you stay there, you're gonna be miserable because that's the environment. It's a diversity environment. Yeah.
yeah.
So so you came to Berlin in 2018. you stayed with Cecile, this amazing person. We're gonna have her in the next podcast. If no, I'm joking. I'm joking. If she wants to, of course.
One day, maybe.
One day, one day. And I think that's you started working at Ubisoft right away.
No, no,
No,
no. I wanted to, but they didn't didn't want me.
rejected. Okay.
I was rejected once, and I think
Wow.
either you or Pekka was hired when I got rejected.
Pickle
Um,
probably. Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. But I made my way in anyway later.
Where did you get hired then?
I think a year later ish,
Okay.
something after the Ubisoft Game Jam was yeah, I think 2019. Yeah.
So we met at the Game Jam.
Yes.
Yeah, there was this awkward exercise. I don't even remember how it was. You just need to bump into people. So it was a game design exercise, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I
You,
think
you
so.
you had to just bump into people and share like a completely. I don't remember. Do you remember? I don't
It
remember.
was so like I think it was the part when we as a team had to come up with game ideas,
Yeah.
and we just really had to like walk around in the room and bump each other and pitch a game idea. And
Mm,
I was just so nervous that, oh my God, I have to come up with a game idea like this.
mm.
And yeah, I don't know. And, but
Do
it
you
was
re-
fun.
It was very fun. Do you remember the game that you end up creating?
Yes, the nuclear Gurken.
Oh
Gurken is
man, I
nuclear.
remember. The nuclear group. I remember. Oh fuck. Do you, s- do you still have it somewhere? Like
I think it's still online. Yeah, think so. Somewhere the nuclear Gurken. I think it was amazing. I really loved it. It was so yes.
it was a very fun game, Jan.
Yeah,
Okay,
and I
let's not.
think
Mm.
now I remember the theme. So I think the theme was creating games without what was the word?
Anna,
Conflict.
I don't want this podcast to be deleted as well. So
Okay, but
I,
I mean it was open thing, I think.
it was
So
an open field. Are we allowed to talk about this?
I mean it's online. The game is online.
Okay,
So
okay. So carry on. I'm sorry.
yeah,
I'm paranoid now. You know.
all the NDAs. No,
Yeah.
that was like the game is online. It was I think it was pretty yeah, but it was like create a game without conflict,
Mm-hmm.
which is like all the games have some kind of conflict is but I really like the idea, and it was a cooperative game, and many people were creating some kind of cooperative games, yeah, and we were two pickles helping each other in a nuclear apocalypse. So the pickles had some kind of nuclear power, which can be some, and I don't really remember what were the powers. Like maybe you can jump very high, or you can swing, or oh man, I have to check the game again. But it was super cute, and it was totally cooperative, and it was very nice actually. Yeah,
I remember
and
it
I got
was.
hired because of that.
It
So
was because of the game.
I mean, so I actually got two jobs, maybe three even, because of
Mm.
going to game jams. So here's my word of advice for everyone who wants to work in the gaming industry: go to game jams. It's a lot of work and mostly in your free time. But since like companies are usually there and lots of networking possibilities, people from everywhere, um, and then they see you in work, how you work and how you work with others, and what's the end product you create in just a short amount of time. So I applied to Ubisoft once, I got rejected, and then there was this game jam, and then I went to the game jam, and then I worked there with people who already work at Ubisoft. And I remember it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and on Monday I got a message from a producer, and I was like, "Yes, I'm
That's
going."
amazing. Who was your team? You knew the people beforehand, or was like completely
I
new?
do. So I didn't know anyone, I think. Um, but like I remember Steffi was there in my
Mm,
team. Another girl who I think she was from outside Ubisoft, and Steffi's husband,
mm,
and
mm.
that was my team, I think. I hope I don't. Yeah. And I was a little bit in another team as well, just helping out a bit, but they were doing a board game, so they didn't do anything with the laptop or with the game engine. Yeah.
Can you make the game available online so we can play?
I'm pretty sure it's available. I have to Google it because I don't have the link anymore. But
Yeah, can do this later.
yeah, I will comment it under your YouTube link or something. I hope it's
Okay,
still up.
all right. I have a disclaimer to do, Anna. I'm not sure how many people know that this is like first time disclosed in public. During the game jam, I just went to the first day where we had the exercises, and then
Mhm.
I just fucked off. I was like, okay, I'm not doing the game jam, and then I came back at the final day just to sign the thing because like they had like this picture of everyone and like the poster with everyone's name was like, yeah, I kind of was there, right? I participated in the first day, so if you go to
You did.
if you go there now, there's my name signed on the thing. I don't know. It's just so the reason why I didn't participate like the whole thing is that I had just uh, I had just bought an iPad at the time. For the first time, I had an iPad, and it
Mhm.
was just the time that Apple was with this marketing campaign, like, "What is a computer? You don't need a computer." And I was like, "My God, I don't need a computer." And Apple, was, "Yeah, you don't need a computer." I was like, "I don't need a computer," so I bought an iPad. It was like I'm challenging myself to do the whole game jam just with the iPad
No.
because because I don't need a computer, right? And then I even found a team. I was in Pecco's team with two other random guys. I don't remember their names. And when time came to actually start creating the assets, they were like, okay, I do the game design, I do the birds, you do Bruno, you do the UI, right? I was like, of course, man, I have my iPad, I have my Apple Pencil, I can do everything. And like 5 minutes in, like the plugins didn't work, like I couldn't sync anything. I was like, guys, I'm not I was like, guys, I'm not feeling okay. I need to I need to go home. My cat, I forgot to bathe my cat or something.
And your laptop, you need a computer.
And I just left. I was like, damn, why did I bought this shit? And I think like for 1 month after this whole like incident, like I just left my iPad on the table. I didn't touch it. It was like a paper holder or something. I was so pissed. Uh,
And
but
you
then
need a computer.
yeah, yeah. Even nowadays, they have like this was in 2019. It's been a while. Like a lot of the programs got better, like Photoshop got better and everything, but still, still, you cannot do like 90% of the things. Like maybe you can do it, but not as fast and not as easy. Yeah.
I actually, I so like I also have an iPad, but I only use it for watching Netflix, shopping on Amazon, and painting on Procreate. That's it. Um, and I started to make a game in my free time about my cat and in the comic style with my girlfriend because I cannot code, and so I do the art and she's doing the coding, so we're a
Mm-hmm.
perfect team. And I started to do all the assets and all the drawings in my iPad because then I can just sit next to her, draw, and then we can work together because our working stations are in separate rooms. So it was just more comfortable. And since it's a very simple game with simple art, it was working. And it was working until recently. And recently I was like, okay, no, I can't do it on an iPad. It became too complex and too many assets, and it just got tedious. And now I switched to the Adobe products because
Mm-hmm.
just yeah. And
What?
especially with so like I'm animating in 2D, so frame by frame animation. Um, and on Procreate, it's actually very nice. But if you have to like create variations, like a walk cycle with a tissue in the hand or a walk cycle in a watering can in the hand, then it just becomes so tedious and it's just so complicated and takes so much time in on an iPad. So I was like also exporting, like I cannot generate sprite sheet, so I had to use Photoshop at least either way. But even creating the assets, I just switched back because it just, yeah, no. No, I need a PC. I don't hear you anymore.
Can't hear me?
Yes, now, yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. 1 second. I think I did something wrong. Test one two. Okay. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Besides those like those things that you mentioned about like watching videos, browsing Amazon, like I also don't use my iPad that much. Like it's not yeah. I'm just repeating. Just repeating what you said. I agree 100% basically.
But I
Yeah.
still really like to paint on it, like just for like not big masterpieces, but painting practices, color studies. Also, I do my comic on it mostly. Um, so it's good for certain stuff, and I really like the pen itself. It's really
Mm-hmm.
amazing. Um, but if you want to go on a higher level, it's not enough.
It's
No.
not. What I think would be cool to do, that's something that I'm looking forward to do it, is just on a Sunday something go to a park and sketch. Maybe
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
That's
that
cool.
that's
Yeah.
yeah, that's it's perfect for that. Yeah.
Have you seen the new one? I think got released not a couple like last month or something, not a long time ago, and they now added the hovering effect. So when your pen get closer to the screen, you can see the little nib,
Mm-hmm.
like on Wacom.
Okay.
But you need to buy the new one, of course, the new iPad.
Mine is okay for yes.
Yeah.
I think I have a 2017 one, 18 maybe. Yeah, I don't know. But it's perfect for me and my needs.
All right. So you finished the game, Jen. You got hired, and
After a bunch of interviews and test job as no, I no test job no because I did it once before. So yeah, just after a bunch of interviews, yes.
let's not get very detailed here. I'm
Okay.
paranoid again. I don't want to get Ubisoft lawyers on my ass again. Okay. So you got hired after a process,
Yes.
and we started working on. We worked together. Let's not go into detail. Oh man, I'm getting paranoid after last interview. Okay, let's skip that part. And and some years passes. We stopped working at Chipsoft. I moved to Gütersloh, and you actually get hired at Omeda, Omeda Studios in Berlin, also, right?
Yes. I mean, so like they're full remote, so they're actually London based, but everyone is working full remote. So it's really a digital nomad kind of studio. Yeah.
You were working from home.
Yes. Full remote, yes.
That's amazing.
I actually don't like it. So like I like the freedom, but I love to go in the office, meet the people, having coffees, chat face to face, having meeting face to face. Um,
So they do have a studio in Berlin where
no,
you can go. No,
no,
there's no
there's no
place to
way.
go in Berlin. Okay. Have you been to the London office?
No, not yet. And
Okay.
I think the London office is also just a rented shared space for a couple of testers, but no one's really going in. So like really the whole studio is really full remote.
All right. How would we be? Would you? How would be? Would oh, I'm sorry. I don't know what's happening to me. How would it be for you the best scenario, like working from home and being at the office, like 40-50, 50-50?
I think it really depends on my mood, but I like to have the option to go in because sometimes for me it's just like for my social needs, for building relationship with the
Mm-hmm.
with the people I work with, just having coffee and hang out. I really like that. So it would be nice to have a studio where I can go in, but I mean,
Mm-hmm.
so far it's good. They're really nice. I really enjoy working there so far. Yeah, so it's just the one little thing. It would be a bit better if they would have a studio, but everything else I really enjoy so far. So yeah.
Mm. Yeah, I agree with you. It's good to connect with the team as well. I remember when the pandemic started, some people got hired, and for like 1 year they're working with me in the same team. I didn't know who they were. Like, just it was just when going back to the office was allowed that I met the people who I was working with for like this whole year. I didn't even know they were there. It's crazy. I think you need a little bit of the human touch as well.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I was thinking back, so I started at Ubisoft before the pandemic, so I had the human connections, but I also, since Ubisoft is so big, we also work with other studios in another part of the world. So there were already people who I've never met face to face, but I still
Mm.
work together. But it was somehow still different when you have to be home all the time and you really never meet the people who you work the closest with. So yeah, so interesting times. But actually, so at Omeda, I already met one guy because he was visiting Berlin. So he just texted us because we're actually three people in Berlin from Omeda, and he texted us, and we just met and had a dinner, and it was super nice. So I already met one.
That's great. He was
And
from London.
sorry,
Was he from London or
I think so. Yeah,
okay?
and I wanna go to London just to also visit friends there.
Yeah.
And yeah, since I can work from anywhere, it's a great opportunity to just go there, visit the people, met with the people, and come home when I want. So it really gives a great freedom as well. I didn't try it yet because I'm very new at Omeda. I started in November, but I would really like to take advantage of this and really embrace the freedom.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, I should. Especially it's so cold in Berlin right now. I should go on a sunny place.
I know some people who work from home and they have the following plan. So they spend 6 months when summer. So you know that when summer on the north hemisphere, it's cold, like it's winter on the lower one. And so this guy, he just likes like hot weather. So every 6 months he lives in a place, and then the other 6 months he lives in the other place. Like he's so it's always summer for him.
Wow.
Yeah,
But he must earn a lot then, having two apartments. I
I don't
guess
think. Hmm?
depends on the country as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah. It's very like a nomad lifestyle. I'm not sure if it would be for me. Always moving. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I also don't want to do that. And also I have foster cats and I like my apartment. I love Berlin, so I don't want to do it like this, having 6 months here and 6 months there, but I definitely wanna do it in a smaller scale. Just having a couple of weeks here, a couple of weeks there. Also going to Hungary, see my friends, work there for a bit, then come back.
What game are you guys developing at Omeda?
It's called Predecessor,
Mm-hmm.
and it's already early access, so you can have it on Steam or Epic Store. Um, so it's a third person MOBA, and it's a new version of Paragon, basically, which was a game from Epic, and they got cancelled, and then they released the assets, and a bunch of people get the assets, and then remade the game, and that's what we are doing actually, and yeah, it's okay. You're checking the. Oh, okay.
Can you see the screen?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I have more stuff open than I should. There you go. It's better. It's
And
a
what I also really
mhm.
like about the company and the game is like it's really, really community based. So we have a strong community and we really listen to them. Like we really involve them in the process, and we have blog posts and YouTube videos about our plans and about addressing the feedback they gave us. So it's really community driven. And since it's a social game, because you play with your friends and you play with in teams, we really think that the community is very, very important. So it's very interesting
Mhm.
approach as well.
How did you communicate with the community through Discord?
Yeah, through Discord mostly.
Mm.
Yeah.
The guy just killed a dinosaur. I'm not very happy with that.
You're a dinosaur fan?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Are you not?
I am. I love dinosaurs, of course. Of course.
So you can pick many characters. I guess this is one of the ones you can pick, of course.
Yeah.
Or there's like one main character.
No, no, no. There are many characters. It's like it's a MOBA, so you have bunch of
Mm.
different characters with bunch of different abilities. So each one of them has their unique style and unique stuff. And yeah, I don't know how you play MOBAs like League of Legends or Heroes of the Storm or any of those.
No, I normally don't play MOBAs. I think they're very addictive, and if I start playing them, I just play them for weeks on without end and don't shower, and it's a black hole. It's a black hole because they're too good.
Well, I actually like I was also not a MOBA player before. But since I got hired here, I mean, actually, that's not true because I played a little bit of Heroes of the Storm years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But since I got hired here, I started to play League of Legends, and there's
Mm-hmm.
a mobile version now, a League of Legends Wild Rift, and it's so addictive. Like
Yeah,
I
you know what I mean. Then you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I mean, and even I suck. Like I'm a horrible player. I'm totally not good at this, but I still really enjoy it. And yeah, I play it every day basically. And
So,
since it's on the phone, the
mm,
Wild Rift version, it's also very easy to, I don't need to walk to my table, turn on my PC, start. It's just like, oh, it's on my phone, and then I play, and then yeah, it's harder to resist.
yeah, and I guess it's also good for gathering ideas, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean,
Yeah.
references and yeah, just how game development works. We always check out what the other companies are up to.
Benchmarking.
Yeah, benchmarking.
And so, just 1 month that you've been working at this company?
Yeah, one actually now 1 month and 18 days since I
18
started
days.
the 1st of November. Yeah.
Okay. And how? So you got onboarded, of course. Um, did you had time to work on things that are already available for the players,
I
or
think in
is
the new patch there gonna be
okay?
some stuff I did. I did marketing materials as well.
Really?
Um, I mean, it's a startup, so of course I have to help out wherever it's needed. So I did did some marketing materials, and I think in the next batch there's gonna be some stuff. But yeah, stay tuned. It's actually doing like very well. It's I think it's 82% positive reviews on Steam, so it's very positive. So we're getting there, and it's still early access, so there's a bunch of stuff which will come, and it's pretty exciting. It's really because it's I mean, you worked in a big company, you worked in smaller companies. It's like in a small company, it's so rewarding that everything's happening so much faster. Like you do something and it's bam in the game. And in a big company, you have to wait a lot to see your work actually out, which is like, of course, it's rewarding in a different way because it's a huge company, huge name, millions of players, and you can feel so proud at working on a huge company. But in a small company, it's really rewarding in another way that you just really just see people reacting to your game, and it's yeah, I really enjoy so far.
Mm. I loved your marketing side. Stay tuned.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Join the Discord, subscribe and like.
Yeah, I agree with you. The experience of working in a big company versus a small one, it's very different. It's very different. It's very rewarding in different ways. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's great, Anna. So we can already play this one.
yeah,
There's
yeah,
just a
yeah,
new. Okay, okay. We
yeah,
just
it's
need
early
to wait for
access.
the new patch for to see your art, especially.
Yeah, but I mean, so far it's just little things, but I mean, it will get more and more.
Um, are you also animating some of the things?
I mean, yes, actually, I already did
Yeah.
some very small animations, which will be in the next batch as well.
Stay
So
tuned.
stay tuned. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, they also have a blog post. So they do, or we're doing lots of blog posts about the next stuff we're working on. So it's really, they're really transparent, and I also think that's really nice to not have been scared of, okay, what can I say, what can I not say. It's like it's community based, it's transparent. We're creating blog posts about what's coming, what our decisions, and just like basically everything. So if you go to a website, there's a blog, and then you can read everything, what we're planning, what we're doing. So that's also very nice.
Mm. What you would say are the biggest difference between predecessor and League of Legends, for example?
The camera angle, I mean,
The
it's like
camera angle?
it's a
Yeah.
third person, so not top down view. So it's a different experience. Of course, it's a much smaller game because we just started it, we just got early access. Yeah, oh yeah, that's the blog. So yeah, the third person is, I think, the biggest difference, and of course it's like different heroes, different world, different everything. You should try it, get addicted.
I will. I will for sure. It's also very pretty. I really like the UI. It's very thin and light.
Actually, yeah, I mean I'm a UI artist, so I'm gonna work a lot on the UI, so there's gonna be some changes, but let's see how we evolve. There's always things to improve, but yeah, it actually has a very very solid base, and can make it even better the whole game.
That's the
It's like
spirit.
everyone is really really passionate about the game, so that's also something I really like in a small studio, that everyone is just like really putting their soul into the game and want to do the best. And in a big company, sometimes you kind of lose this because it's like you cannot impact the game as much. So yeah.
So, how many years have you been working as a UI artist? Since 2019.
Since Ubisoft actually, because before I was a generalist, since I worked with small companies and mostly in Hungary. Um, so you have to be a one-man army sometimes. And when I applied at Ubisoft, I asked if there are any other art positions than UI, which I can get, and they said no. So I was like, okay, I really want to work at Ubisoft, so I'm gonna be a UI artist. But it's also like, so as you know, UI artist is very versatile. Like you have to know a bit of tech stuff. You have to know a bit of animation, bit of UX, like lots of things. And me being a generalist before, and also working in the film industry, working with animations, it really helped me to specialize in UI art because I have lots of other experiences in other fields, even 3D a bit. So yeah, I of course don't regret it at all. Um, and I really liked all the years at Ubisoft, all the experience I gathered, and it helped me, yeah, to move forward. So yeah, I actually like UI art because of the versatility. Is that the right way to say it? Yes.
Versatility. Yeah, I mean, you're great. I remember in your free time, you're developing some personal projects, right? You developed this cyberpunk, I would say, or futuristic UI project with some
Oh yeah,
glitches. It was really good. Yeah, yeah.
thank you. It was, yeah. Yeah, I always do stuff in my free time, also like comic. Now I have another thing which I didn't post it on ArtStation yet. I'm not sure if I want to post anything on ArtStation at this point of time. Um, but I have something I want to finish up and post it somewhere, because I did in my free time a project to create badges with Substance Designer, which is a 3D tool.
Oh, all right. Uh huh.
Yeah, yeah, and I just really want to finish that up and share it somewhere, because I really enjoy doing that, and it's really how to merge 3D technology to create something
Mm.
pretty in UI, and yeah, I really enjoyed working on that.
I think Clay did something similar for his
That's
project.
what I, yes, that was my benchmark. So he actually made a GDC talk about it, and their process is much more complicated and much higher level. But I wanted to learn that, and I wanted to learn the tool.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I did it, and I made it in a Viking theme, and of course they're using their own softwares as well, which I obviously don't have. So I just wanted to stick with Substance Designer, Blender, and Photoshop. But I don't really use Photoshop in this workflow. Only Substance Designer and Blender.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so stay tuned. Okay.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right, man. Yeah, I remember Clay's work when I don't know if that's the correct English term, like nonchalant. He was like, I was like, Clay, this is amazing. So Clay is a former colleague of ours who is amazing. It was like he's a UI artist. It was like, Clay, those badges are amazing. I was like, yeah, you're cool. Like, no, dude, they're not cool. They're like amazing. Yeah, they're like, yeah, I did 100 yesterday.
His work is pretty awesome.
He's
It's pretty
amazing.
inspiring. So yeah, I saw it on his Behance, and I saw the GDC talk, and I was like, oh my god, I have to learn this. I want to learn this.
Mm.
So that's why I started to, yeah, learn it and create a project for myself, which is again just totally for myself in my free time, and I really want to post it now. Like I really want to finish it.
And so stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Maybe during the Christmas break. Perfect time.
Someone told me once that I think that's every profession basically, or every hobby. It's like a plane, and the plane is flying, and either the plane is going up, and if you don't like make it go up, it won't stay stationary. It's gonna go down over time, slowly, but it's gonna go down. So what that means is like you need to perfect your craft, and you need to keep doing that no matter what. Otherwise, you're gonna just stay outdated. You're gonna fall into the um, I don't know how to say that. You're just gonna stay outdated. I think that's the best way to say it. You need to always to look for like the new technologies and new ways to do things. Otherwise, the plane just starts going down.
Yeah,
And I
that's
think
true.
that's a nice sorry, go
That's
ahead.
true. I agree.
Yeah. And since I heard that, I was like, okay, no matter what I do, I still need to like do stuff on my free time and learn new tools and create personal projects. Otherwise, it just yeah,
It's come with technology, right? Like
yeah,
in our, I don't know, parents, grandparents time, they went to university, they learned their profession, they went to a company, and then they just stayed there forever. And it was like the knowledge they gathered was mostly enough, and
yeah,
they just worked through their life. And nowadays, the technology, and if you work with technology, it's just changing every month, and you have to keep up. Otherwise, you
yeah.
really get outdated, and it's a very intense lifelong learning. Um, so it's interesting, challenging, tough. It's I don't know how I feel about it actually.
I think that's a perfect plug to ask you, Anna.
Oh no.
Anna, dear Anna, how do you feel about AI art?
Oh, I knew it. I knew it's coming. I knew it's coming.
The whole
Well,
podcast, everything was going towards this point in time.
this well, I have many feelings about it. I have changing feelings about it. So I can say I probably my feelings will, or not my, maybe more my opinion probably will change as that whole thing develops. It's okay. How much time do we have? It's a huge topic.
We have all the time in the world.
So
Let
yeah,
it out. Let it out.
it's a huge topic. It's an amazing technology, no doubt about that. It's crazy. It's evolving so fast. It's just mind blowing. Um, so I would say at the beginning I was really blown away. Like, oh my god, like how did we got here? It's crazy. And and then actually I remember a time years ago, let's say 6 years ago, I was painting a picture digitally, um, and I spent maybe months, 2 months on it. And then a friend, and then I posted on Facebook. I was super proud about it. And then one of my Facebook friends, who's totally not digital person, doesn't know how digital painting works, and she was commenting like, "Oh, it's not like you just type something and the picture is done." And I was like, how can you think that? No, it's a craft. It's hard work. It's like
Yeah.
really like every stroke you make, it takes time. It takes effort. It takes long years of learning, perspective, anatomy, color theory, like crazy, like really. And I was offended, and now 5 6 years later we're there. You just type something, bam, it's there. It's just wow. So it's crazy. And that's where the world will go, also, no doubt about that. Like, technological evolution will always win, and it saves a lot of time to companies. And if you're a company and you are a business, you will choose the cheapest option for sure. There already a game that I think I read it, the latest Rick and Morty game used AI, and they were open about it that yeah, they used AI art in their game, so it's already in the industry. They're already using it. They're already saving time and manpower with it. But there are lots of dangerous and very bad things about it as well, like how they steal from artists, how they're not crediting them and not compensating them is not okay. It's kind of like with my stickers, like I did it. I spent months and years to develop this style, and I spent hours to work on it, and then I send it out and someone else is making money out of it without my consent or without like even anything. So that's not okay. There's many other aspects of it which is actually, I don't know so much about it, but they're like people or like their articles saying that it is racist, it is sexist, it is creating a very generic beauty standards kind of, so everything starts to become the same look, and they're even using it to for revenge porn, which is like so many aspects which I didn't even think about. And since the technology is capable of doing that, people will use it to do that. So like it's I think it's kind of like the atomic bomb for artists. Like the technology of the atomic bomb is amazing. It's crazy. But if you put it in the wrong hands, then it will explode and it will destroy. And that's why I'm thinking at this moment, maybe my opinion will change, that it's very dangerous at right now, and it's not fair to artists, and it's a big danger for artists because it's already taking jobs away. Like it's probably not going to take all the jobs because there's always going to be crazy good artists who are just the best of the best. But if you just see the Rick and Morty game and just think, if all the AI generated art in there were done by an actual artist, that's probably a couple of people who would have got that job and the salary and everything, which was replaced by an AI. So it's but yeah, it's a huge topic. I think it's an amazing technology. We could be used probably for so much good as well, but it's also very dangerous and frightening, and right now not fair. Like you just go to ArtStation and you see how all the artists are just rebelling against it because it's just not fair to really spend your whole life learning the craft, and then a person comes and using your name as a prompt, creating an art which is exactly your style, and then claiming that, oh, it's mine, I did this, I'm an artist, and I sell it for, or I put it in a game or something. So yeah, more or less that was a lot. Yeah. How do you feel about it?
Um, I have a completely different view on it.
Okay.
Yes, yes, yes. But before we get to that, I would like to ask you, how would you prevent? It's you on your view, right? How would you prevent the all of those problems of happening? So how would you prevent that art is stolen from artists with AI art? Do you have an idea?
Like, okay, again, I'm not like I'm not I don't know so much about like the really depth of the whole topic, but I think it's already regulated for musicians.
Mm,
And they get compensated if the AI is using their music. At least I read an article about it. So I'm pretty sure there are ways to solve it, but also using art without the consent of and the knowledge of the artist is also not okay. So Yeah, I don't know how to solve it perfectly. I maybe there are no perfect solutions at all. I don't. I'm also very curious to see. I'm really watching this whole things about AI and AI art with great curiosity because it's extremely complicated and there are many much smarter people than I am who are working on these issues and these questions, and I really hope they will solve it. Because I'm also, I don't want to learn another profession. It takes time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a complicated issue for sure. Because how would you trademark a style? How do you define, for example, let's say Monet, okay? Just as an example. You can paint something that resembles to the Monet style, like, but how much? Like 50% of it, it's already illegal, or 100%, of course, then you're like copying the style. 90% it's okay, if 40% is okay, how much? Yeah, and that's something that you can define on the AI, right? So let's say I want painting similar to like a bird flying, the style of Monet, but just 20% there. Is this, you're copying him, because it's a very difficult subject
It is.
to, to define.
Yeah, but it's so
Yeah.
like I think the argument people who are supporting AI is something like as an artist you also like copy certain styles, but the difference is that you actually put in your own style as well and you just benchmark, so it's a bit different, but the AI is actually taking that picture from ArtStation and it's actually using it. It's not something, but also like mixing together with other
But
stuff.
that's what photo bashing is.
Yeah and no, because when you're photo bashing you're still using your own craft which you learn for years and years, and you maybe you just use a texture and you create still something new.
Yeah, but
um
you're using Photoshop. Photoshop is just a tool.
it's true.
And
It's
and
true.
and AI art is also okay. So my opinion. My
It's yeah.
opinion is the
Okay.
following. Um, Change is inevitable.
True.
When computers arrived, everyone who was a professional typewriter was protesting, was like, I'm gonna be jobless. Let's destroy all the computers. Computers are the devil. We cannot move into this world where we are useless. Typewriters for the win. Like, or when Uber became a thing, all the taxi drivers. I'm not sure how it was in Hungary, but in Brazil, I was in Brazil
They
at the
banned
time.
Uber. They banned Uber.
Exactly, because now the poor taxi drivers, they're gonna get jobless. Well, because Uber is so much better, let's just burn all the Uber cars. Or a friend of mine gave me a very very good example. That's the last example. It was like, I spend my whole life hammering nails with my bare hands. I'm a professional like hammering nails with my hands. Like that's what I do for a living. And this motherfucker came around and created a hammer. I gonna burn this guy. How dare he create a hammer? Like, and that's the feeling that I'm getting with this whole AI thing. It's just a tool, uh, and I'm paid to get results, right? To come up with original creative images for a product. That's what I do. They don't care if I use brushes or like real canvas, Photoshop, AI. That's not what they pay me for. They're paying me for to come up with visual solutions. And I see AI as the best tool ever for that. Now, companies will expect you, instead of creating two amazing concept art image, like final render images in 1 week, they expect you to create 10. That's the difference. Instead of spending like hours and hours like doing research, maybe 3D modeling the thing, lighting up the scene in 3D environment, and then over painting it. This will take a lot of time to get like one cool image. You can get five in 1 second and then spend the rest of the time over painting the ones that you want and then mixing them together. And so I really see with I'm really optimistic about it. It just makes everything easier and faster to reach a certain result that you're looking for. At the end of the day, it's like today. People will see the result and they will clearly see if you're copying someone or not. You can do anything on Photoshop, and at the end of the day, the result that matters. They're gonna see and they're gonna judge you by the result, and then they can judge you if it's just like you're copying someone else or not. That won't be different.
Yeah,
You
but
can
how would it feel as an artist if your boss would tell you that, okay, Bruno, I want it to be much more effective, so we throw out your Wacom, and from now on you only use AI art because the AI art, like let's say it even evolved like 5 years from now, it's
What if you do
perfect.
that?
What?
Do that. You just say no, dude. My workflow requires AI, and that's
Yeah,
it.
but like
Wacom. I'm sorry.
yeah, but that's the thing. It's like, and I also like we were talking with a concept art artist with that, like since it's evolving so fast and since
Mhm.
many people who never learned the craft of painting and drawing are capable of creating those end result images you were just talking about, so everyone became an artist. So basically that means that no one is an artist anymore, because if everyone is an artist, no one is. um, and and actually like that, I'm quoting now Ash Thorpe, who's an amazing artist, and he had a podcast about this whole topic. It's super long, but it's worth to watch because yeah, lots of thoughts there. So if you're a company and you're saying like, yeah, now we don't need 5 concept artists, we're firing 4 because we can have the same result with one guy using AI. So we keep you, Bruno, firing everyone else. And now you have to use AI for 90% of your time because that's the most productive, because that you can create more images that we need instead of you researching and painting. So that's how it will work now. And that's, I think that's the danger, and I agree it's inevitable. The technology is evolving and there are like many examples. Like for example, back that the day there were people whose job was to go in a street and turn on and turn off the lights. They lost their job when electricity came and when like the technology evolved. I think it's also going to happen with self-driving cars, self-driving vehicles. So it's like, but the main problem
We
is
all gonna be
we're all
replaced by
like, it's
robots.
coming from everyone for all the jobs. And I think
Yeah.
the difference is nowadays that it's just happening so much faster than ever before. It impacts so much more jobs than ever before, and the governments and our society don't have a solution for that. And
It's
I
a global
think that
problem. Yeah.
that's the big issue. And I'm really curious, and I actually agree with what you said. It's inevitable. We have to get used to it and we have to adapt. And maybe probably really handcrafted art will just be a hobby for most of the artists who are working as an artist nowadays. Let's see. Let's see.
So you mentioned that companies would just fire 4 of the 5 artists and expect the same artists to produce the same amount of work. I don't think that's the direction that we're gonna go, because that's not what's have been happening so far. It's quite the opposite. If you look like the past 10, 15 years in the game industry, games and game development just has been becoming bigger and bigger. They're hiring more and more people each day. Games are larger and more immersive each day. I think it's the opposite. They're gonna hire more people and actually make them produce the double amount of work in the same time. they gonna, or maybe they're gonna even keep the same amount of people, but expect the same amount of people to produce 10 times more art. I'm gonna give you an example. I would like to share something with you. I found this guy on Facebook yesterday, and I'm completely amazed by his work. So his name is Stefan Selik, and he shared this work. I think the work is from Everton, Lisboa, and he created like this whole universe. So it's this Egypt cyberpunk universe. I don't know in how many hours. Like high quality concept art, not final art, right? So concept art that can be used for a project, ideas for a project, in I don't know a few hours. So I just gonna go through the pictures because there's I don't know 30 or 40 of them, and like you can see it's clearly AI generated art. So if you look here, if you look into the details, it's kind of weird, but that's nothing that could be adjusted on Photoshop easily, right? So look at this image. If you ask for an artist to create like concept art for an Egypt cyberpunk universe, first you spend hours researching about both topics, and then maybe researching about 3D models, if not modeling those assets himself, and then combine them and then overpaint and think about lighting. All of those steps, they're gone now. He just needs to get the finer stuff from AI and then overpaint it. But the thing is, someone is still needed to do this job. And you see, like this is one guy who created, I don't know, 30 of those images. I think that's what companies want. They will keep the same amount of employees, but expect their work to be dramatically better, and the quantity to be way higher. Like before, like I don't know, it would require I don't know 10 artists to come up with all of those 30, 40 images in a short amount of time. Nowadays, you can have the same amount of artists and have like 1,000 of those images. You can craft your world way faster.
I'm a bit more pessimistic about all this, I think. But I mean, I wish you would be right. Uh, I hope no artist will lose any jobs or anything. But yeah, but there, as I said, I think there's also many other issues with it. Also crediting artists and have their consent to use their art in AI is very important. And it's, yeah, the technology is evolving faster than the rules to regulate them. So I really hope that they will solve those as well, and have regulations, because it's, yeah, it's inevitable, and it's just a matter of if we use it right, and we don't, use it for bad, like every tool.
Yeah. So ArtStation banned AI art.
No, not yet, no. But also,
Mm.
so like me as an artist, when I go to ArtStation, I want to see real human made pictures, because I want to learn their technique. I want to learn how they do it. I want to see what brushes they use, all this stuff. And if ArtStation will become a place where I will mostly see AI art, because they can just produce much faster, so it will be overflown by AI art, no doubt about that. I would like to have a separate platform, or a category or something. When if I want to check AI art, then I will go there. But ArtStation, I would love to see, as like as an artist, to see art made by people.
But that's
And I
not
have
what
no,
ArtStation's for. ArtStation is a portfolio website.
yeah, but that's the argument. Like if you're a AI artist, why can't you share your portfolio there? And that's a big argument. And
Mm.
personally, I would love to have a separate um, ArtStation, or a separate place where I can see AI art. But because it's getting so good that you can't really tell the difference anymore, or it's very hard now. I would really love to be sure that if I go to ArtStation, I see actual human made art people who spend hours of painting an image and not just using prompts. Um, because yeah, I just want to have it separate. And I think that's also something they're fighting for, other than crediting, other than copyrights and compensation and other stuff. Um, yeah, but it's yeah, it's complicated. Yeah.
Have you heard about the IKEA effect?
No.
So I learned that today. So the IKEA, the IKEA effect is that you value something and you're willing to pay way more for something if you do it if you do it yourself, or you know how it's made, if you build it right, if you spend time working on it.
Hmm.
They picked two groups of people. The first one, they presented them assemble ready furniture from IKEA, like a sofa, and they asked them how much would you pay for that, and they said, I don't know, like $50 or something, like a number. Like they were kind of average the same. They were kind of guessing the same number, and then they gave the unassembled furniture to another group, and each one of them had to build their own furniture. They all said, I don't know, I would pay like 500 euros in this sofa, and they didn't know what the test was about, right? So it creates this thing in your mind. Whenever you put some effort on something, it just becomes way more valuable. And and nowadays, I think a lot of AI artists will present their work, and they're like, not not be not have a lot of value for their work.
But
You
that's, I
know?
think that's the other issue. Like lots of artists are feel like kind of attacked because it takes away the value of an image.
Yeah.
Like if you see those amazing images with the cyberpunk Egyptian thing, like it's so pretty. It's
Hmm.
so beautiful. And then I that it's just a bunch of prompts created the whole many images in a couple of hours. And then I see the same quality, and I know that one image was made by one artist who spent weeks of painting it. So it's the end result and the quality is the same, and one of them has less value because it just so fast and easy to create. So it's taking away the value from the craftsman work, and
I
that's also an issue.
mm, I agree. Yeah. I think the secret lies on detaching your emotion from the art that you're producing for a company. Because when you're working, let's say you're painting for a certain project or something, or a certain company, you're painting for money. You know, you're painting for a company. It's not for, let's say, like, not for pleasure. You know, it's you were trying to achieve something, like a result for the project. So you kind of need. I think the secret lies on detaching the emotion there. You know, and
Mhm.
when you have your free time or you want to have more fun, then you can paint more traditionally.
And when do you have a free time? When you paint 8-10 hours a day for a job? That's the other issue. But maybe if you were right and the companies were not fire people and keep hiring artists, then maybe we can reach that point when we need to work less and have more free time for the same amount of money and the same, because we can just produce more. And that's, this 4 day work week concept, and also basic universal income, like these ideas of solutions. I hope we get those. I would love to have those. And maybe that would be some kind of a solution or compromise.
I agree. I agree. But that's not what we are, like, all of us as humans are aiming for. Like, as far as I understand, technology, all technology have one single purpose, which is to make our lives easier. That's it. Would you rather write with a rock or with a pencil? Would you rather wash your hands by hand or with the washing machine? So every single technology exists to give us more time to do the things that we actually enjoy. So I
I would
totally
say
agree with
yeah.
you. I Sorry.
I would say yeah, yeah and
Yeah.
nine. Yes and no, because we're like this is okay. We're going even more deep in extremely complex topics, but it's also you have to also
That's
consider like
okay. That's okay.
capitalism and business, and there's just so many layers on this. So I would say like yeah, technology is sometimes made to make our life easier, but also in the same times we're so many people around the globe. There's like with too many of us, and there's like oh my god, it's just like it's just losing it.
What? Just 8 billion people, and that's nothing. What are you talking about?
That's
Uh,
so it's sometimes technology is made to make our lives easier and work less, but sometimes it's created to just create more profit or serve another purpose. It's just so complicated. I don't know. I give up.
we are in this point in time that we need to choose our timeline. Either we go the. Have you seen Back to the Future?
Yes,
Yeah,
long
yeah.
time.
So there are two timelines. The fucked up one where the capitalism wins, and everyone's just working for the companies and everything's burning. Where Trump's president, basically. That's kind of the timeline we're already in, right? So yeah, I think we have the answer.
Ah, damn.
Oh man, this
Yeah,
movie was
I
so
mean,
accurate.
also mass production is something which came with technology, but it's not good really, but also kind of good in a way that makes our life easier. Bruno, it's so complicated.
Talking about that, yesterday I watched Avatar 2.
Wow, I want to watch it. I want to watch it. It's pretty. Is it pretty? It's pretty. Is the story better than the first one?
Um, I would say it's as good. Yeah. So the first one was very impactful, right? Because it was the first one. You didn't know what you were expecting. It was very the second. So I would say if the first one's like 10, I would say this is like 8 or 9.
Okay. I
It's
was
really good.
actually pissed at the first one
Mhm.
because it was like outstanding at the time, and it was so pretty, eye candy, everything. But the story is the exact ripoff of Dancing with the Wolves, which is one of my all-time favorite movies. And I watched the Avatar, and I was like, "This is Dancing with the Wolves. This is the exact same story." Like,
Pocahontas, yeah.
like oh my god! And even South Park made an episode about that, and it's called Dancing with Smurfs, if I recall correctly.
What the
So,
fuck?
so yeah, I was a bit pissed, but I still want to see the second one if it's. I mean, it's really supposed to be outstandingly beautiful again. So
Yes, James Cameron. He needs money, so go watch it.
okay, okay,
I'm joking, but I recommend watching the cinema because the eye candy
yeah,
factor that you mentioned. They also filmed the movie in 60 FPS, if I'm not mistaken. They rendered the movie, right? They did in 60
okay.
FPS, so everything's very fluid. Some of the scenes seems to be like 30 FPS, so it's a little bit jarring. Like some of
Mhm.
the scenes they go back to 30 FPS, then go back to 60. I'm not sure if the general public will notice, but us as gamers, I think we notice. Yeah,
Okay, I will
yeah.
keep an eye on that.
Um, what else? Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything, of course, but you can expect Way of the Water, Way of the Wind. They're gonna keep going with this, man. They found like the gold mine.
Okay,
Yeah, because the story works. It's very touching.
okay. Yeah, I mean, watch Dancing with the Wolves. It's amazing
I've
story.
seen it. It's really
Okay,
good.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So I remember when I watched it, I was also blown away.
Yeah. It's very sad. So I always after I watch it, I just hate humanity and especially white people. I feel deep ashamed that I'm a white person and I just wanna flip the table.
Nah, come on. It's nothing to be ashamed of. So what's your best your favorite thing about Dancing with the Wolves? Is about like protect the nature, love the.
Also, like somehow I always felt really interested and somehow ashamed of what happened with Native Americans and what happened with them and what's happening with them still. It's
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a very huge problem and it's not getting enough attention. But I've never been in America. I'm not American, so I like of course I have this very outsider view. But as a kid, for example, I played a lot of like Indian or Native American themed thing. I made my little weapon in the garden, and
Oh.
and I read a bunch of stories, like novels and stuff. So somehow I really liked the culture, and yeah, I love love movies in this theme. I I started to read. There's this book called "Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee," and
Mm-hmm.
it's a book written in the 70s, and it tries to explain everything from the natives' perspective. And I started to read it at least 4 times, and I couldn't finish it because I just got so pissed after five
Why?
pages because of the crazy injustice what happened to them. Like just just so sad and so bad and so horrible. um so yeah, so I still couldn't finish it because I get shaking with anger, like how could have this happened. And it's also like even the book is saying that it's really hard to have a perfect picture from their point of view because you know, like that saying that winners write history, kind of. So lots of their perspective is just gone. uh,
Mm.
but it's yeah, it's just it's very interesting and very sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The winners write the history. I mean, all those Nazis that went to jail when the war was over. I mean, they just went to jail and got persecuted because they lost.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. Yeah.
Yeah.
But watch Avatar. It's really.
Okay, I will. I will. I will.
So, Anna, I developed a theory this week. I want to share
Okay.
with you. I want to share. I think that all of us, we all need somehow to find a way to be connected to nature in any way. It's something that's part of us. That's why it's so heartbreaking to read things like "Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee" or the first Avatar, "Dancing with Wolves," Pocahontas, because we come from nature, right? We are animals. We used to live in nature, and as much as we like to think ourselves of those like superior beings that can live in the city, I mean, it's proven that cities are not healthy for us on the long term, right? Have you ever been to the nature and then you came back and you just had this overwhelming feeling of peace, interior peace and calm? And that's because that's where we come from. That's where we belong. Of course, no one's gonna go and live in the jungle. I mean, most of us won't. But what I mean is, like, most of us, we miss this connection to nature, and we try. That's my theory. Subconsciously, we're always looking for it. How come? Maybe by having a pet at home, because that's something more nature-like, or having a hobby that involves maybe hiking or wrestling, because like you're more in your animal state, you're in this fight or flight primal state. So we all subconsciously try to find ways to connect to this primal self, even though we're not aware of it.
Probably. I mean, I love to be in nature. I actually, before I became an artist, I I wanted to work with animals. I worked in a zoo.
Oh
Um,
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I worked with animals. I've been a leader of a Jane Goodall Roots and Shoots program. If you know who Jane Goodall is, she's the most amazing person ever.
Who? Django?
Jane Goodall. She's the person who discovered that chimpanzees use tools. So because of her research, we had to define humans, because before that humans were defined as the tool makers, and since she discovered that chimpanzees are using tools as well, the whole scientific community had to define humans again, because if chimpanzees can make tools, that are
Yeah.
chimpanzees humans as well.
Did
So
you met her? Did you met this lady?
I met her actually. She hugged me once.
Oh, that's amazing.
And yeah, so like I was working in that particular group because, okay, so like Jane Goodall created this program called Roots and Shoots, and it's basically a program for young people, and young generation, to create a group about nature, about environment, about whatever topic they want to, and work in that group and just make everything a better place, or make uh, oh yeah. But if you Google Jane Goodall, um, I'm pretty sure you will recognize her face. That she's very, yeah, she's very famous.
Oh, I think I seen her. Yes.
And yeah. So yeah, but like when I was considering, what I want to be when I grow up, I was not very good in physics and chemistry and stuff like that, and that basically kind of prevented me to go to a biologist path. But I was working in a zoo. I was also going for to ornithologist camps, so I worked a lot with birds. When you put little rings on the bird's leg and then you can track them and stuff like that. I wanted to be a ranger in a national
That's
park, so
amazing.
I did lots of stuff like this, and I really miss all this stuff. So maybe when AI take over, I'm gonna go and work with animals again, and I will be so happy.
Stay tuned, everyone.
Yeah, but yeah, every time I go on a holidays, it's definitely about nature and hiking and stuff like that, and I really like that. I'm sure you're right. In my case, I'm definitely craving back to to nature. Yeah.
Wow. I had completely forgotten that you worked in a zoo. Anna, you're such an interesting guest. You need to make a podcast part number 2. I still wanted to talk with you about motorcycles and more about cats and also about the zoo. We need to do it again.
Would be my pleasure, Bruno.
Hey Anna, thank you very much. So before we close, I just noticed that we have some comments.
Oh my God.
Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So Hurt is asking, what's her name again? So Jungle, how?
Jane Goodall. Jane Goodall.
Okay, so I'm gonna share the screen again for you. Her just for you. Uh, Jane Goodall. She has an
Jane Goodall.
institute.
Yeah. She also
And
has documentaries about her, and it's like lots of books she wrote. She's the most amazing person on the globe, no doubt about that. She's wonderful. And when I met, okay, one story about her,
please,
because
please, please.
it blew my mind. So I was working in a zoo as a volunteer, and we had chimpanzees. And Jane Goodall was visiting the zoo and the city where I was living in. It's called Page, doesn't matter. And we wanted to, as a zoo, we wanted to surprise her with a baby chimpanzee.
Oh,
So there was a baby chimpanzee, which was not usually in the zoo, but somehow they managed to get one. And she came to visit. And since I was working in the zoo, I was allowed to meet the baby chimpanzee.
mm-hmm.
So she was in a room very separate from everything. The windows were closed, and there were not really many people allowed to go and meet the baby chimpanzee, because it's a rare animal. We really had to protect her, and it was like a big thing. But I was like, oh my god, I want to meet her. And they were like, okay, you can meet her, you can come in the room. I came in the room on my tiptoes, and the not an owner, but the caretaker of the baby chimpanzee, she told me like, okay, you stand there, be very silent. Now you really slowly go and sit down. And then the baby chimpanzee saw me. She ran to me. She looked at me, and it's like it was mind blowing just to see a chimpanzee so close, because it was so human like so human like. I was in shock. I couldn't do anything, and the baby chimpanzee touched my face like this, then hugged me, and then ran away. And I was literally in tears, because it was just such a crazy experience, that seeing an animal which are so human like, that it's mind blowing. The ears, for example, it has the exact same shape and everything. The eye, like, so I was mind blown, and I was just, yeah, crazy. And then I went out. The day was happening. Jane Goodall made a talk, and the whole idea with the baby chimpanzees was that we were surprised Jane to just show her that, hey, we have a baby chimpanzee here. So it was a huge room with a stage, hundreds of people. Jane had her talk, and at the end, when the I don't know the people from the zoo, they thanked her and everything. So it was everything done. And then the other end of the room, across everyone, across 100 people, there was this person who just appeared with the baby chimpanzee in her arm. And then in the stage they said like, hey Jane, we have a surprise for you. Here's a baby chimpanzee. And then Jane saw the baby chimpanzee, and she started to talk with her in a chimpanzee language. So she started
No
to
way.
something like this. I can't talk chimpanzee, obviously, but she. And what happened? Jane was standing there, hundreds of people's baby chimpanzee. She was wearing a diaper. She was so tiny, and she was scared. Like, I had to like be very quiet when I met her, and just like really. And then the baby chimpanzee heard this. She just jumped from her caretaker, ran across the whole room, which was a huge room, across all the people, and jumped on Jane, hugged her, and never let go. And everyone was just mind blown. Like, no one made a sound, because the whole thing was just so mind blowing, that baby chimpanzee, who was really scared shitless, because of, she's not in a jungle, she's not with her parents, she's with a huge room with hundreds of people in it. And then Jane talked to her and made her just run through everything, conquer her fears, and hug her, and just stayed with her. And it was like one of the craziest things I've ever seen. It was really mind blowing. Just like, holy shit. Yeah. So that's Jane Goodall.
Wow.
It's crazy. It was
Wow.
crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't still get my head around that she could talk chimpanzee.
Yeah. And when we met, because like she met all the Roots and Shoots group in that
Yeah.
city, and I was a kid, right? So I was really like, I don't know, high school max, maybe 14, 13. And then we told her what our group is about and what we're doing. And then she said like, okay, I'm gonna greet you in a chimpanzee way. And then she hugged me
Yeah.
really
The
tight.
chimpanzee, not Jane.
No, 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 Jane. The
Oh,
chimpanzee
Jane.
was
Okay.
not there at
Okay.
that meeting. And so Jane hugged me very tight, and she started to talk chimpanzee in my ear, like ooh, 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 something like this. And I was like, oh my god, I will never shower again. Jane Goodall hugged me. Yeah. But actually, every time she has a talk, she introduces herself in a chimpanzee way. So she's like doing this chimpanzee sound and saying like, "This is me. This is Jane." Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah. She
that's
also has a
amazing.
podcast actually called Hopecast. And
Hopecast.
yeah, and she's talking about all kinds of hopeful things because technological evolution and all the hopeful things which are happening in our world because not everything is bad. There's still hope. We can survive.
We can. Man, it's crazy. Like the chimpanzees are tiny humans, right?
Yeah,
They,
they
I
can communicate. They can learn sign language. They're very like they're basically like us. I think like 99% of our genes are the same. So
yet we see ourselves again like this superior species, separate from the animals. We're not.
we're
They
not.
are way smarter than we give them credit for.
But
You remind, yeah, sorry.
I was just remembering that was a huge turning away from the comment questions. I'm
No,
sorry.
that's great. That's perfect, Anna. You actually reminded me of this YouTube video that I watched like yesterday or something. This guy had like a CD. He was in the car, so the guy he was driving, and he had a chimpanzee pet with him. I don't know if they work in a zoo or something. And the guy was filming, and he took a CD out to put it on the car to listen to music. As soon as the chimpanzee saw the CD, he was start. He started getting super excited, like a little kid, really like a little kid. And he actually took the CD from the guy and put it on the thing. And it was some rock music, ACDC or something. And the chimpanzee started like balancing the head, like yeah, like really loving it, like a tiny human. It's amazing.
Yeah, they're extremely intelligent. They're really not pets, though. They're really not pets. I wanted so when I was working in the zoo, I wanted to have a monkey pet. I was I could have had it very easily. There
Why
are
why
lots
didn't you?
because they're not pets. They're really not pets. It's
What do you
like
mean they're aggressive sometimes?
they're too intelligent to have them
Mm,
as pets. They're like you have to respect some kinds of animals are just really not meant to be. And even though I could have had one easily. I wanted to have a I don't know what's the English name of that a skull-faced monkey. They're like tiny, extremely cute, very intelligent. You can teach them how to steal and
what?
and stuff like that. But the more I researched, they're really, really not pets. And there are regulations, what kind of animals you can keep at home, and they're there for a reason. And there's that's not the one actually.
Scarface
Um
monkey?
I actually don't know the English name of that monkey. Let me Google in Hungarian
Mm-hmm.
and then
Anna,
okay, common squirrel monkey.
okay.
Common squirrel monkey.
Okay. Common squirrel monkey. Oh, you
Yes.
cannot. So you can have those as pets?
No, don't have
Okay.
monkeys as pets.
Oh,
In
that.
general, just don't. Because yeah, you can see them in movies as well and in a circus and stuff like that, but it's not okay. You have to respect nature more to have
Mm,
to give them their freedom because they're just not pets. They're not domesticated. They have to live in the wild. Just dogs and cats. That's it. Okay, not that's it, but domesticated animals. That should be enough. Because they're also because they're so intelligent. You can teach them a lot of stuff, but
mm.
they will only do it when they want to do it. So if they want to throw you with feces in the face, they will do it, and they you can do nothing about it. So it's yeah, but they're
Yeah.
super cute. And I've worked with them as well in the zoo. And but then when every time I went in their cage, I had to remove all my piercing
Oh,
earrings,
okay.
whatever, because they just like, oh, I like it, and then your ear is gone.
And they're super strong also, right?
Yeah, of course they have
Yeah.
very sharp teeth. Yeah,
All
and
right. I'm sorry. You-
yeah.
Let's go to the last question. Um, so the GXO is asking, probably some new law rules are should come to AI because it's pretty new technology.
Hopefully, I really hope, and I really hope they will come soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. As I said, technology just goes faster than the laws following it. Um, yeah. Hope for the best. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Yeah, there's nothing much to say, right? Just
Yeah.
hope for the best. Uh, I think we have no more questions. No, no. Okay. Anna, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much. It was very good to talk to you. And let's do that again.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Anything else? Any closing remarks? Any website that you're gonna say or
Thank you,
anything?
though. Check her out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jinkdo, check her out. Thanks a
Yeah.
lot, Anna.
Thank you, Bruno. Bye
Bye,
bye.
guys. Bye, everyone.